All right, team. Well, welcome back. This we have this month's FitPro show, and then we have December's, and then we'll be back come February next year, and we'll get all hopefully we'll bring this class back. I know me and Julia and the other program managers love it. So thanks for joining today. It's crazy, it already is November. But we have a little bit of a different topic that we haven't discussed before. We're going to be talking about how to manage and overcome injuries. The reason why Julia and I thought that this would be a good topic is because I'm currently going through an injury myself, and I know Julia has had some crazy injuries in the past. I've had other ones. Sometimes you have injuries that you never go away that you deal with. So I'm sure many of you on the line have had injuries of yourself in the past. So I would love if anyone could share in the chat box an injury that they have faced or one that they're currently facing or something that they have to deal with constantly. Maybe some of us have similar injuries. Some people might have more wilder ones, but so go ahead and put that in the chat box if you can. Any injuries you have ever had, or the biggest one that comes to mind, or the one that was the most life altering.
Yeah.
I have had, as a gymnast my whole life, I had plenty of injuries. Particularly to my left knee. I tore the ACL in my left knee a total of 4 times, and I just had it reconstructed for the fourth time. So I'm sitting here with my leg brace and my crutches and my shorts. So I've gone through this before. Every time I went through it before, I was an athlete. I had a whole community of like a team behind me, supporting me. And I had like my mind was just, get back to sports, get back to gymnastics. Like the motivation was really there. But this time, I'm a normal person. So it's much different. So when I have like I need to pay my bills, I need to go to work, I need to um all these obligations that are a lot different than when I was a student athlete and I had my mom to take care of me. Now I'm kind of on my own, so it's totally different. Um but yeah, so I've had a giant knee surgery 3 weeks ago on Tuesday. I have my leg locked straight for 6 weeks and I'm on crutches and I'm working on trying to bend my leg again and get my quad to fire up again, and it's about a 8 month to 12 month rehab process to get me back to 100%. So that is it. I've done it before, so I'll do it again, but just much different this time.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I know,
Yeah.
Julia, you had something crazy happen in your
Yeah,
life.
I had my fair share of injuries due to obviously also being just like you, you know, an athlete when I was younger. I had those injuries. But like you said, it was great that you had a whole team who all wanted you to come back quickly and go back in the boat and row for Germany. It was obviously they pampered you back to health. It's different now. But this this injury that I had 2 years ago, that was really something. Oh, it's almost 3 years ago, maybe, because I've been here a year and a half. But that was kind of, you know, how you had planned, like I'm going to have surgery at this date. You can kind of prep yourself for these things. For me, this one was out of the ordinary. I tend to faint at times, especially here at altitude. Strangely enough, that got much worse. So I usually am caught by people or things, objects that I fall into when I faint. And this time I was actually caught by the floor with my face. So I fell straight onto my face. I'm a tall person, as Hannah now knows. She still can't believe it that I'm 6'1". But so I cracked my skull and I shattered my nose. And I had pretty big, pretty um, like my brain was affected a lot by this. So I um, I was really I went from training. I was always a trainer. I was always an athlete, so I was training full time at a gym, always training for some events. And that all came to a halt from 1 second to the next. I spent time in the hospital and in the obviously emergency rooms, and I lost my memory, so I couldn't really remember things anymore. So I drove in my car, and all of a sudden I forgot where I was and where I wanted to go. So those were really scary times. So that was probably, I still have PTSD from this. I wake up sometimes just scared from this situation. But yeah, my training full time came to try to move your head without, getting too dizzy and falling over again. So I broke my several bones in my body during that whole ordeal as well. So that was unplanned, and it really, we'll talk about this in a second. It really was such a crazy time because Hannah, we talked about this a little bit, that especially in a situation like this, your life comes to a halt. Everything you were doing, I have a family, I have boys that I'm taking care of. You have to earn money, you have all those things. So I really fell into a pretty deep depression for a little while. Hannah, how was it with you?
Yeah,
That
no, like you were saying, it affects you so much more than just physically, it's mentally really challenging. Um whether it's like planned or unplanned, I think the first like best advice that I would give is to allow yourself to grieve about it. Like it is okay to be sad, it is okay to be in the dumps. Like you hear those people, they're overcoming all these injuries and they're so positive and blah blah blah, and you can't compare yourself to them because you're seeing what they want you to see. I guarantee you that almost every person that is dealing with any of these injuries I'm seeing in the chat box, anything what me and Julia have gone through, or other extremes, or even something more minor, um, it's okay to be down and sad. My mom always told me, like, even after this last knee surgery, she told me you can allow yourself to be depressed and sad this first week or two, and then we got to get you up and moving. And so that first week after surgery, I was just lying around sad. There were tears, I just let myself be, like, honestly, a pile of garbage on the couch. I mean, I couldn't really do much else, but allowing yourself so that you're not beating yourself up for feeling that way. Like it's okay to feel that way. So that's the first like piece of advice. But after that, you do need to start like taking it day by day and celebrating the small wins, because life is much different after that, no matter what type of injury it is. Even if it's just like a broken toe, you realize how much you take for granted when you have something that's bothering you. Like anyone that's having back pain, when you don't have back pain, you're not really like thinking, "Oh, I'm so grateful that I feel so good just sitting here." But then you get that back pain that's bothering you all the time, and you're like, "I just wish it didn't hurt to move."
hmm
And so when you're overcoming an injury, you need to start celebrating the small wins and taking it day by day.
Yeah, totally. Exactly.
Mhm.
These small wins really got me through my recovery over a year, just being able to get out of the chair without falling over because I got vertigo and stuff. Those are like, at some point I realized this is good stuff. This is the process. We have to trust in the process. And then we talked about a little bit yesterday when we were doing this chat to kind of prep for today. Um, we have to see opportunities that come with these really bad times. And I know chronic back pain I feel like it's even different because I have chronic back pain from my rowing history. So that's a whole nother topic. No, chronic back pain is one of those things. But opportunities are like I started working on very different things. And Hannah, you had some really good ideas on just if you can't do something, then do something else and see an opportunity to maybe what did we talk about yesterday?
Yeah. So, first we're going to take it day by day, but then you do need to make a plan. So, like, that's what helps me the most is it's like, okay, I can only do XYZ. I need to make a plan on how I'm going to do XYZ. So for me, like my plan was that I'm going to start coming back to work. I need to make a plan for crutching to work. And when I come to work, I know for me, exercising helps. Exercising looks completely different right now, but my plan is that every other day I'm going to hop on two machines and do some upper body exercise. It's nothing like what I could do before, but I have that plan of, okay, I'm going to get up. I'm going to get out of the house. I'm going to get some exercise in. I'm going to ice. I'm going to go to PT on these days. Make a plan because that's what's going to help you track along versus just staying down in the dumps. So, getting the plan going. And a part of that plan needs to be getting help. So, you need to be okay with leaning on others during that time and not you need to like accept that it's okay that you can't do everything on your own, and be okay with others as like offering help. We want to do A lot of us are independent and it's embarrassing asking for you to carry my food over to my table, but accepting help and asking it, um, finding the resources that you can lean on. So know the close friends, the close colleagues, the family members that can help you out. Make sure that you have a good support system and that you then have like your physical therapist lined up. You have even a mental health therapist that you're working with. Um, I even joined an ACL rehab group on um, Facebook. So basically, it's this like Facebook group I'm part of, and it's all these people that have also gone through torn ACLs. And there's someone on there that I've connected with that has torn their ACL 7 times. So like me doing it 4 times, I'm like, wow, at least I'm not
No
7 times.
baby.
Like I'm like, oh my gosh, mine is no big deal. But finding like other people you can relate to has helped a ton. So if you have any type of injury that you're going through that you feel alone, I guarantee you that you're not alone. There's other people. So see if you can find those groups or those people, and then make sure that you're relying on others for help and not feeling bad about it. My boyfriend's been helping me out a ton, and I say sorry every single time I'm asking him to grab me something. And he was like, if you say sorry one more time, Hannah, then I'm gonna be upset with you. So I need to stop, like, don't feel bad for it because that's why we have people in our life and community, is so that we can get that support. And when we're all 100% and someone else needs the help, being willing to do what they did for you, for them. So,
Yeah,
make a plan, get help. And then the next thing, big piece of advice I'd say is, controlling what you can. There's so much out of your control. I cannot control the speed of the healing of my leg. I'm stuck in this brace that's locked straight for another 3 weeks. But what I can control is my sleep, my nutrition, my hydration, and like my mental outlook on it. I'd say it is more challenging because like sleeping is uncomfortable. I'm not working out. I'm not as hydrated or not as thirsty as normal. Um, but my appetite is off. I don't really want to eat the greatest food, but when you start to realize how important the sleep and the nutrition hydration is for your body's recovery, that's something you can control. So it's like we need our lean proteins, we need our vegetables, we need our fruits. We need to be drinking half of our body weight in ounces a day. Like that's what's going to speed up the healing process. So I'm a control freak in a few areas, so knowing that I'm like I can control to a T what I'm eating and how much I'm drinking, so that is something I'm going to take control of because I cannot control the situation of my leg.
yeah, exactly. I'm actually put on full body rest right now because of injuries in my body that I got from doing triathlons. That's my new thing. So I totally messed up my body during this time as well. So actually, right now I see the opportunity, and I'm actually reading a book on some good practice for triathletes. So I am
Yeah.
educating myself in that way. And I like how you said nutrition because I'm also reading a part of this book is how I should be eating as a triathlete. And I'm going to be a triathlete again next year. I know that that's my goal. But now I see this time where my physical therapist is like, you can't do anything. Just like, don't even stretch your hurt muscles because there's inflammation in there. Don't do it. So I'm like accepting it. I'm trusting the process. And so now I'm finding the opportunity here, educating myself. How can I now prevent this from ever happening again? And maybe it will happen again. But right now, I'll just take this and I journal. I started journaling a little while ago, and it really helps me.
Hmm.
And I show gratitude, and I show gratitude to myself, to my body, for all the things that I'm doing and my body is doing for me. So it is helping me stay positive. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Hannah, I love that.
Yeah. So kind of back on what you were saying earlier, like taking realizing it's you can take it as an opportunity to do something else. I'm a very busybody. I like to go hiking and be out and about. It's really hard for me to sit at home. Um, but I'm taking this opportunity. I'm trying to do things that I'm not normally doing. Like there were quite a few shows on Netflix that I was like, I never let myself just binge watch, but I'm like,
Yes,
I'm going to
watch.
see what this show is all about that everybody talks about. So I took the opportunity. I've been watching my shows, um, reading. I haven't been an avid reader for a very long time. And so what else am I going to do besides watch my Netflix shows? So I started reading, like you mentioned, like journaling. I haven't gotten into that yet, but
I'll
if
get you.
okay, I'll need your help. But, you know, when life is different, try to brainstorm and look at what can we do right now instead that will still like foster more growth and development. So maybe it's you're not like you're injured, you're not able to be active, but you've been wanting to learn more about strength training or building a workout plan. Maybe this is a time where you would build your own workout plan or get advice from one of us and get a workout plan for when you return, so that you have that plan in place. You took the time to learn that you didn't have time to do before, and then you can implement, more exercise to get yourself not to hopefully get injured in the future. So I think just looking at it, try to switch the negative mindset of, I'm down, I can't move, into an opportunity to learn and to focus your lifestyle on just some other areas.
Yeah, I totally like that. I love the word opportunity, anyways. And so now, over the years, you learn seeing the opportunity in situations. And sometimes you just want to throw everything down and totally, we need to allow feelings to just happen and come out. But then seeing those opportunities and be like, you know what? I can really set myself up for success, and I get excited about a brighter future because you know what? Now I've learned so much stuff by reading or doing certain things and maybe taking a class on something. And then I'm prepping myself for the great bright future. I'm reading a bunch of painful injuries here in the chat, by the way.
Yeah. No, so, and I like what Deborah just said. She's like, it's reframing, like looking
Yeah,
at a situation from a different viewpoint. Got to find the silver
exactly.
lining. Yes, 100%. I'm a firm believer that like the injuries and going through the things just make you stronger. I definitely would not be the person I am today if I didn't already have gone through the three torn ACL process, because it's a long one and it's really mentally challenging, mentally and physically, and it's definitely made me a lot stronger, and I have a lot more grace and understanding when I see other people going through similar situations because I know how hard it is. So definitely that silver lining. But I'm gonna just like on the 8 different notes that I talked through. I'm just going to restate them just in case anyone missed anything. So I think just number one tip when you're going through an injury is to allow yourself to grieve and be okay with it. The second tip I have is just taking it day by day, celebrating like the small wins. Third one is just making a plan and sticking to it. So what is your doctor allowing you to do? What can you do? How are you going to live your lifestyle? How are you going to keep doing the things you love, but in a safe way? Um, Fourth tip is going to be to get help and accept help. So reach out to your colleagues, talk with your family, your friends, see, your physical therapist, your mental health therapists, join any rehab groups, but lean on others because it's not fun to do this alone. My fifth tip is to control what you can. So that's going to be sleep, nutrition, hydration, and your mental space. Um, Trust the process and be patient. That's a really big one I didn't talk a lot on. So when a lot of us will push a little bit further than what we're supposed to, but you're going to get there eventually. So you have to be patient. Nothing is worse when you re-injure a problem. So don't be one of those people that you feel good one day, so you're going to go run 5 miles when you like were barely able to run a mile
Are
before
you
that.
talking about me right now, Hannah?
Pretty much, Julia. So you need to, even if you feel really good one day, that is not your sign to go all out, because you're most likely going to cause some type of re-injury. Slow yourself like back into things. Your body will play little tricks with you, but you need to listen to it and listen to what your doctor's advice is. Um, I also think like what we said, taking the opportunity, the silver lining, doing other things that you weren't normally making time for, and taking that time just to learn. We always can learn more. So taking that time. Also, I kind of touched on this, but if you think about what you love to do and see what you can do to make that work. So, like for me, I can't walk right now. I am on crutches. Usually love weightlifting. Weightlifting, I usually do that about 4 days a week. I just started doing it again. I cannot move a dumbbell around. That is not safe for me right now, but I can sit on a machine and I can do chest press and I can pull. So those are two exercises. I did that the other day and I felt my mental health was so much better after that. So what adjustments can you make to still do what you love? Even if maybe there is a sport that you like to play, if you can't play it yet, um, go to, say you're on a soccer team, go and watch and cheer that soccer team on. It's just going to help you just to be there with like your team and cheering them on and just seeing it versus just being at home on the couch, not able to participate. So, um, those are like all the big tips that I had. Julia, was there any others that you had? Otherwise, I wanted to kind of talk about like the most common injuries that we see in the workplace.
Yeah, I love that. I love the summary of the points and the bullet points, and I actually would love that as a sheet that you send to me.
Okay.
Aligned for future injuries because I know it's going to happen again. I'm just that kind of person, you know. I just like to injure myself. So
Yeah, no.
I love the list, the bullet points, and I think you hit it right on.
Okay.
I absolutely agree with everything.
Yeah, and if anyone on the line hasn't had an injury yet, that is yours.
Good
That is
luck.
amazing. I this can even be applied to when you're like sick or if you're dealing with any type of sad thing that's happened in your family, any type of loss, because it is kind of a similar thing, the
Mhm.
way it affects your body. If it's not affecting it physically, it might be affecting you mentally. But I guarantee, unfortunately, we're all going to face at least one injury in our lifetime that we have to overcome. Um, but I think in the workplace, I see a lot of times I'm seeing it's going to be backs and knees. We've got frozen
Head and
shoulder
shoulders.
problems as well. Sciatica is a really common one. If anyone on the line has had sciatica, that one is not fun to deal with, but a lot of these are you're able to come back from, but they are frustrating. But I think I'm going to just kind of talk a little bit about um, back pain. So back pain, we use our back in just everything that we do. You do not realize it until you have back pain. Um, Usually there's going to be some like posture problems going on there. So if we can like even right now I'm sitting with my pelvis tucked under, leaning back, so it's not great, but if you can sit, try to find better posture throughout your day, pulling your shoulders back, having that back pelvis in neutral alignment. And trying whenever we're lifting objects or moving around, engaging your core and making sure that you have a strong core, just like Andrea said, working your abs, strengthening your core, it's going to support
Mhm.
your spine. And then doing your movements, if you are exercising and doing strength training, nice and controlled. We're not doing fast movements. We've got the core engaged, glutes engaged, and we're in proper spinal alignment. That's going to help prevent back problems. But a lot of times people have slip discs or things, and those are not really in our control. So you've got to listen to the doctor and try the different techniques to find what alleviates your pain the most because it can be really debilitating. So, but I definitely recommend core training and then working on posture, standing at your desk, trying not to be as like seated and just overall movement. I think the more movement we do, the better our back is usually going to feel. Unless we have a severe injury, then you got to listen to it. But that's my advice. Um, Julia, what injuries are you seeing that you have to work with a lot?
I mean, obviously, the lower back situation. You know, we have sciatica, we have I have a couple of this missing discs, so the nerves are always pressing. And I have to say, since I started teaching core and more twice a week here some months ago, like almost a year ago, I have to say now, after almost a year of doing it consistently twice a week, now I feel like, oh, my back pain is really better. It's not as, it's chronic, it's always there, but it's much more controlled now than it was before. So really try to get into a good core, and Andrea, exactly, into like a nice core routine to strengthen that core and really support that lower back. That helped me the most. Sometimes I get some injections into my spine just because sometimes it just doesn't feel good, especially when the winter rolls in. I'm really sensitive to cold. So that's, and then we have a lot of frozen shoulders. Maybe it's a Fort Collins thing. I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of frozen shoulders here that we're working with. Um, and I'm helping them realize what else can we do. Like there's not just your shoulder, there's so many other body parts. Let's strengthen that core. Let's strengthen those legs. And then when your shoulder's ready to come back into play, we'll do the shoulder workout.
Yeah, I think another one that I see a lot is going to be just knee pain. It's just it hurts to squat, it hurts, stairs are uncomfortable. So our knees are they're really easy to get damaged, I think, just because they can have so much like pounding throughout our lifetime. And so once like it is an unfortunate thing that once we lose that cartilage and the cushion that technology doesn't have it so we can get it back yet. One day I'm hoping that it will be back by the time I need a knee replacement. But I think what you need to do like is again like find what works for you. You know that those exercises are painful. Let's strengthen our glutes. The more we can strengthen our glutes, less load is going to go on our knees. Yes, that knee pain might still be there, but hopefully it can be a little bit more diminished. And just I just always preach like don't push through the pain. So you
Mhm.
know that doing certain exercises that you know are good for you, um, are painful, there's no reason to push through it. Let's find a way for you to exercise and strengthen your muscle groups or get your cardiovascular system trained without further damaging and putting you through further pain. So if you have any type of situation like that, feel free to reach out. We can help you brainstorm. But the old slogan of no pain, no gain, I I lived by that in gymnastics growing
Yeah,
up, and it's probably the worst slogan ever. I think there's a certain extent where pain as in like muscle burning, but not pain as in
no,
injured joints,
no.
and muscles and ligaments. So definitely listen to your body when it comes to that. I also think like nutrition wise and hydration can really help with joint pain. So the more water we have, like the more lube we're gonna have in our joints. If you can try to stay nice and hydrated, that's gonna help. Staying on top of vitamins, like vitamin D is huge, and most of us are vitamin D deficient. So if you could add some vitamin D supplement, that's gonna also help with our bones and our joints, and even just your mental energy. So vitamin D, I add collagen powder to my tea in the morning. We stop producing as much collagen as once we hit a certain age, and so I have collagen in my day. I try to get a lot of leafy greens, and lots of protein. So the nutrition can have a big aspect as well. Anywhere in there that you think you recommend to them, Julia?
Yeah, no, agree totally, 100%. There's some great books out there. You just have to sometimes read on it and just like, oh, now I know, and then you'll start making those changes. But I totally agree. With my last injury, all this came to me like nutrition play, and it's not no pain, no gain. I mean, that's how I lived until just a couple of years ago, you
Yeah.
know. And I'm almost 50 years old, so it's like, what happened? But yeah, I got ruined by my coach, that's for sure. But yeah, no, Hannah, you put it together nicely.
Awesome. Okay, team. Well, if any of you on have any like nagging pain and you just want to talk through it and see if there's any way that we can help and support you, feel free to reach out. Try to listen to those tips that me and Julia gave you, and make a plan to keep progressing forward and not getting stuck in down in the dumps. Okay, we've all been through
Exactly.
it. We'll all get through it. So feel free to reach out and know who you can lean on, and we are here to help. So awesome.
Exactly.
Hopefully. we'll have a December Fit Pro show. Hopefully by then I'll be walking. So that'll be the goal with my leg.
Walking man.
And we'll be through Thanksgiving. Thank you. So, all right, team. Thanks for
All right,
joining in.
everybody.
Thanks so
Good to
much,
Thank
see
you.
ladies.
everyone.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you.
Bye. Bye, Hannah. Bye, everybody.
Bye. All right, I'm ready to put my name on here.